That's why we go to church on Sundays, to listen to people of faith. You should be the most powerful people on earth. We have to give you voices back, and I've given you voices back, and that's one of the reasons that we see upticks now, I think, in religion.
Is this actually true? Is it actually going to happen? Or is this just a joke? Some skeptics might think there will be no such thing as a Sunday law in the future, but it's looking like the stage is being set. So there's one thing wrong with this theory, with this theology, Sunday rest by law. Although I believe it, I see one problem. Who's actually going to stand by it? Who's going to support it? We can talk about Project 2025, but here's what I mean. Here in America, we're very strong-minded. We have very strong characters. And if we don't agree with something, we will voice it and we will fight against it. Now, I'm not Mystic Mac or anything like that, but I can kind of foretell that in the future, if they do try for a Sunday law, I see a lot of people going against it and fighting against it. And so this is how I think they can accomplish a Sunday law. Now, with the recent public execution of Charlie Kirk, the air seems different. The air seems thicker now. Revolution is rising. It almost feels like a war is brewing between conservative churchgoers and die-hard left-wingers. If this continues, we might just see a civil war happening.
This is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. I am telling you to back off right now. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged.
I want to read something. This is from Mrs. White's writings, Testimony for the Church, Volume 9. In page 11 it says, "We are living in a time of the end. The fast-fulfilling signs of the times declare that the coming of Christ is near at hand. The days in which we live are solemn and important. The Spirit of God is gradually but surely being withdrawn from the earth. Plagues and judgments are already falling upon the despisers of the grace of God. The calamities by land and sea, the unsettled state of society, the alarms of war are portentous. They forecast approaching events of the greatest magnitude." She says the condition of things in the world shows that troublous times are right upon us. The daily papers are full of indications of a terrible conflict in the near future. Bold robberies are of frequent occurrence. Strikes are common. Thefts and murders are committed on every hand. Theft and murders. What happened to Charlie Kirk? Murder. That's murder. It's an execution. In Great Controversy, page 585, already the doctrine that men are released from obedience to God's requirements has weakened the force of moral obligation. Moral obligation. Murders. That is connected to moral obligation. She says the press publishes the revolting details of vice, thus initiating others into the practice of fraud, robbery, and murder. Again, what happened to Charlie Kirk? And then she talks about world leaders and religious leaders, and then she says, yet this very class put forth the claim that the fast-spreading corruption is largely attributable to the desecration of the so-called Christian Sabbath, which is Sunday, and that the enforcement of Sunday observance would greatly improve the morals of society. Again, Charlie Kirk was murdered. You can attribute, Mrs. White says, that people are going to attribute these things to the fact that people are not observing Sunday. Do we see the connection?
That is enshrined in our rules in our Constitution where it says accepting Sunday.
Yeah, we'll make that law.
Sabbath blue laws.
Blue laws.
Blue laws.
Blue laws.
If this is true, then we have a problem. None of us are ready. None of us are ready for a Sunday law. None of us are ready for the second coming. None of us are ready for persecution. Well, then let's get ready.
Country living or leaving the city and going into the country, it's first a matter of faith. Money is not really the issue. Now, you might think I'm crazy. Why would I say money is not the issue? Because you say the property requires money. That is true. It does require money. But the real issue is faith. That's the real matter. It's faith. The currency of heaven, I always say this, that the currency of heaven is not dollars, the currency of heaven is not rands, that's the South African currency. That's not the currency of heaven. The currency of heaven is faith. The matter of country living first and foremost is a matter of faith. I remember personally for us, when we started looking for country land in 2019, 2018, we would look for country land with not a cent. I knew we couldn't have purchased. There's no way we could have purchased. If I was depending on myself, it was an impossibility. Nowhere near possible. But you know what faith led me to do? Faith led me to go and look. I kept looking. I kept driving. Not only on the internet. Yes, I would look on the internet, see a property and say, Lord, maybe this could be the property you're leading us to with no money. And I would go and see the property. And this went on and on and on until 2021. It was years, searching. Eventually, when we saw the property, we prayed and we said, Lord, if this is it, provide the means. And indeed, God done so. So what I'm going to say first and foremost, it's a matter of faith.
Okay, so now let's take a look at the past. Whether it's here or in Rome or wherever the place may be, this has happened in the past. When civil unrest started running rampant in the cities in the past, who were the only people that were safe back then? Those who lived in the country. In Genesis 19, Lot and Sodom lived in the city and was swept into its danger, while Abraham, living in the country, remained untouched. Jesus warned his followers in Matthew 24 to flee to the mountains when the Roman army surrounded Jerusalem. Those who obeyed were preserved outside of the city, and those inside perished. We need to get out of the cities and into the country. But here's what some Christians think about that. So most Christians think that we as Adventists, we want to run out of the cities and into the country because of fear, not because of faith, not because we have faith that God will protect us in the cities. On the contrary, we actually run out of the city because of faith. Faith in the Word of God, that the Word of God says to get out of the cities. Proverbs 22 says that the wise, they foresee evil. These are calamities, civil unrest, natural disasters. They foresee evil and then they they protect themselves. They hide from it. They prepare. The fools, it says, look on and are destroyed. Now we as Adventists, we have faith in the Word of God as it is displayed there in Proverbs 22.
What's inside it?
What is it?
It's a little ball.
It is actually our God-given duty to prepare for the coming crisis. Do you have kids? Do you have family? Why allow them to stand in the path of danger when God has a place of refuge for us in the country? Now here's another problem. Even if we are 100% completely physically prepared, when that time comes, we might get into a state of panic. And being in that state, physical preparation would not mean a thing. Mental preparation is just as important, if not more important, than being physically prepared. Physical preparation is very important, but if you're not mentally tough and mentally prepared, panic can set in, and all your physical preparation goes out of the window. Practice, train, play out in your mind these scenarios that might happen and make a plan should you already have country property and provisions. If your family can't reach you or vice versa, is there a meeting place? Preparing mentally so that when it happens, you have stored in your mind these scenarios and plans that you have set and practiced and trained. Execution becomes second nature. You are saved. Well, actually, not yet. So you can physically prepare. You can be physically prepared, mentally prepared, but if you don't have the relationship that you need with the Lord, if you don't have that relationship with Christ, if you have not gotten to know Him, Physical and mental preparation means absolutely nothing. All else rely on a spiritual preparation. Get to know the Lord on a daily basis, or even better, hour by hour. Get to know the Lord. For more content like this, please like and share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and support us on Patreon. We want to be able to give away Bibles, hygiene kits for shelters, food baskets for local families, and other monthly giveaways. These are extra things we want to be able to do, but we need your support. So please pray on it, consider it, and join us on Patreon. The link is in the description box below.